Never miss another fabulous cultural event in Cotacachi just because you can't speak Spanish. In other words, tells you everything you need to know about life in Cotacachi. And here is our host, Deborah May.
Welcome to loyal listeners and new listeners. This is, in other words, the only English language program on public radio in Cotacachi. I'm your host, Deborah May. I hope you will listen to my program today and every Friday at 4 o'clock, especially in the month of June when all of my programs will feature special interviews with local Kichwa cultural activists and educators about the history, cultural meanings, spiritual foundations, and Cotacachi-specific traditions of Inty Raymi, Hatun Punja, the most important time of the year for Cotacachi's Kichwa communities. Also on today's program, we're going to learn how to say the names of colors in Kichwa, and you'll get to enjoy a great oldie from the Everly Brothers recorded back in 1958, as well as the classic Inty Raymi tune from Cherry Hayak, Punyaro Tushwi. I'm really glad you found my radio program today on Radio Publica Cotacachi, and you're listening to the program. So, enjoy.
Hey man, what's your name?
Find out about the local events in Cotacachi before they happen on What's Going On.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
So, what's going on in Cotacachi? Well, the Shades of Grey are going to have a sock hop, not this Saturday, but next Saturday evening. So, June 16th, starting at 5 at La Tola, the sock hop with Shades of Grey. Mary wants you to drop off more unwanted items as donations to the Soup Kitchen thrift shop at the Solid Rock Plaza Thursday mornings, and little Sophie is having her 3rd birthday party. But you already read about all these happenings in English on Facebook. So let's move on now to events publicized in Spanish or Kichwa that you might not be aware of. Many people have been asking when Inty Raymi will be celebrated in Cotacachi. Well, the celebration actually began in the communities in May and will continue through July. For Hatun Punja, the taking of Matriz Square, local Kichwa men will dance there beginning on June 24th and 25th, then rest for 2 days and return to the square again the evening of June 28th, where they will dance until June 30th. Kichwa women dance on July 1st. I have conflicting information about the date of the children's dance. It's going to take place on June 22nd or June 23rd, depending on which authoritative source you choose to rely on this year. But I'll let you know for sure as the time approaches. What else is going on? Tonight at 5, you can head out to the Municipal Theater at Parque Ornamental and Bolivar to listen to an event called Concert for the Family. This is a special concert conducted by the city's Director of Culture and Sports, featuring the municipal band of Cotacachi. Anytime between today and June 22nd, you can catch a special photo exposition capturing images that oppose mining company activities in the region. The exhibit is held at the Museo de las Culturas. It's called Territorios Libres, or Free Territories. Don't miss that. It looks like it's going to be a really great exhibit. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock at White City Park in Ibarra, everyone is invited to join the festive 4th meeting of the peoples in the time of Inty Raymi. At least 11 indigenous communities are participating in the traditional taking of the square, occupying institutions of power with the traditional dances and music of Inty Raymi and the ancient celebration. So that event is sponsored by the Prefectura of Imbabura. Also tomorrow, Ananda is holding an open house from 9 to 3. They're going to be providing free demonstrations in yoga, Tai Chi, and more. So you don't want to miss that if you're into holistic health, tomorrow, Ananda, from 9 to 3 o'clock. Also, for the month of July, In Other Words, is going to be interviewing Steve Donoso, the director of the Saturday afternoon Ami Cine, and later in the month, Etienne Moran, the founder of Ami Fundación, serving children and families at risk in Cotacachi communities. But for the rest of this month, we have some very special programming intended to provide all the people of the canton with intercultural education in both Spanish and English about Inty Raymi. Now, most Cotacachi folks are familiar with the indigenous dancers' occupation of Matriz Park in late June, but there is so much more to understand about Inty Raymi than just the dancing that we see for 1 week in the city square. For the entire month of June, local Kichwa cultural activists and educators, Apauki Flores and Apak Perugachi, will share with us the history, culture, spiritual, and Cotacachi-specific traditions of Inty Raymi on this radio program. In today's interview, Apak and Apauki will talk about what Inty Raymi means to the Antigruna, the indigenous people of the Andes. Why is it celebrated during the June solstice? The importance of Inty Raymi in relation to the other 3 annual Raymis, the ancient origins of the celebration, and the relation of Inty Raymi to the Roman Catholic holidays that are celebrated during the same week. Next Friday, on June 15th, Apak will talk about his book, Cotacachi Jactapi Kichwa Raymikuna, or in English, Kichwa Celebrations in the City of Cotacachi. Then my guest will describe the traditions and rituals of Inty Raymi as it is celebrated in the indigenous communities during May, June, and July. Why gender-segregated dancers take the plaza on different days between June 22nd and July 1st, the symbolic significance of the dancers' attire, and why the celebration of Inty Raymi in Cotacachi is different from Inty Raymi celebrations in neighboring cities and countries. Now, on June 22nd, my guests will talk about how the communities together decide who will enter and leave the square and at what times, how the Kichwa people feel about tourists and expats joining them in the dance, and how Kichwa community leaders perceive the issue of violence during the taking of the square. Finally, for my last interview segment with these folks, on June 29th, we'll air the recorded interview because in real time, my interview guests will be dancing in Matriz Square. On that segment, Apak and Apauki will answer questions that were submitted to them by local expats about Inty Raymi in Cotacachi. Apak will discuss the Andean concept of dingui, which is essential to understanding why ritual confrontations occur between individuals and communities. And finally, my guests will talk about the history of how the Catholic Church appropriated this and other ancient Andean Raymis in an attempt to transform them into Christian celebrations. Now, these interviews are amazing. They cannot be accessed at a later time, so please be sure to set a reminder for every Friday afternoon, 4 o'clock, throughout the month of June. Okay, so every week I spend about 10 hours preparing this radio program as a free community service, mostly to English language listeners. Today, I'm going to ask you to please return the favor by taking just 1 minute of your time to let me know that you're listening to the broadcast. Please take a moment now to grab something to write with, because after I talk about the program sponsors for a few minutes, I'm going to give you a phone number and an email address where you can contact me just to say, I'm listening. Estoy escuchando. Uyahuni. I am listening. So this is the only task I will ever ask of my listeners. Just tell me that you're listening. I'll be back with that contact information after I deliver some messages from our sponsors. So please get that pen or pencil now. First of all, our friends at Jairo and Carmen want you to know that you'll feel right at home at La Cuadra Hostal and Cafe, enjoying their relaxed and comfortable family atmosphere. Their hotel is located in the center of Cotacachi on Modesto Peñarera, just a half block from Matriz Park. To make reservations, call them at 06-291-6015. Our friend Yannick wants to make sure you know about his bakery, Pandala. Delicious, whole grain, healthy sourdough natural, seeded, creative, tasty handmade breads. You can find Pandela Cotacachi on Facebook or call them at 099-368-2314. They're located on Roca Fuerte near San Francisco Park, directly across from Primavera. Pandela, because life is better while eating. Or maybe you're in the mood for a hearty beef or a pork sandwich. Our friend Andres wants you to think Kalua Coffee and Tea. Kalua has great coffee from Intag, but what they do best is sandwiches, meat with savory toppings, creative vegetarian sandwiches, all served on fresh baguettes. They are located on the corner of Pedro Moncayo and Leather Street, 7 days a week. Breakfast starts at 9. Great coffee, great sandwiches, and great service from Andres. Next, our friend Xavier wants you to know that Prana Vital Energy offers local organic produce, nuts, oils, wine, books, and much more. They're located on the corner of 9 de Octubre and Rocafuerte. Prana invites you to browse their shop on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Finally, a word from Woof Puppy Dog Grooming and Pet Shop of Cotacachi. They gently bathe and groom your dog so he looks great and feels great too. And at Woof Puppy, you'll find high-quality pet food and accessories for every kind of pet. Visit them on the corner of Pedro Moncayo near Matrice Park and check out their Facebook page, Woof Puppy. That's WOOF, Woof Puppy. Okay, so you've had some time to find that pen or pencil. Here's the information you need to let me know right now, please, that you are listening to this radio program. I will tell you how to contact me by phone or how to send me an email so that I will know you're out there and this program is important to somebody. I want to hear from you. Please let me know that you're listening. If you prefer a phone message or text, here's the number to call. 098-363-0863. That's 098-363-0863. Just say or text the words, I'm listening. I'm listening. 098-363-0863. If you prefer to send me an email, send those same words to DeborahMay52@gmail.com. That's DeborahMay 52@gmail.com. And just say, I'm listening. Thank you so much for doing me that favor.
Wake up, little Susie, wake up. Wake up, little Susie, wake up. We've both been sound asleep. Wake up, little Susie, and weep. The movie's over, it's 4 o'clock and we're in trouble deep. Wake up, little Susie, wake up, little Susie. Well, what are we gonna tell your mama? What are we gonna tell your papa? What are we gonna tell our friends when they say, ooh la la, wake up, little Susie, wake up, little Susie. Well, I told your mama that you'd be in by 10. Well, Susie, baby, looks like we goofed again. Wake up, little Susie, wake up, little Susie. We gotta go home. Wake up, little Susie, wake up. Wake up, little Susie, wake up. The movie wasn't so hot, it didn't have much of a plot. We fell asleep, our goose has cooked, our reputation is shot. Wake up, little Susie, wake up, little Susie. Well, what are we gonna tell your mama? What are we gonna tell your papa? What are we gonna tell our friends when they say, ooh la la, wake up, little Susie, wake up, little Susie, wake up, little Susie.
You are listening to In Other Words. And now it's time to learn a few words in Kichwa. Mama Urku and Apak Perugachi speak Kichwapi.
Welcome to this week's episode of Kichwapi, where Kichwa instructor Apak Perugachi is going to talk about colors and tell us what the colors are in Kichwa, in the Kichwa language. So let's begin with the color red.
Puka, puka,
That's P-U-K-A.
puka.
The color blue is,
Ancas, ancas.
yellow is,
Quillo, quillo.
the color green is,
Guaya, guaya.
orange is,
Quispo, quispo.
purple is,
Maigua, maigua.
black is,
Llana,
and white is.
yurak.
So we remember from another lesson, I hope, that the word for house is wasi. So if we want to say the house is white, we would talk about wasi being the house, and the color would be white, which is yurak. The way we would say this very simply, in Kichwa, the house is white would include the words wasi and yurak, but there are other morphemes that are attached. So just listen, if you could, to the house is white.
Wasika, yurami kan. Wasika, yuragmi kan.
Okay, wasika yuragmi kan. Wasi means house, and yurak is white, and kan simply means is. So the house is white is.
Wasika, yuragmi kan.
Okay, let's say that house is painted red now.
Wasika, pukami kan.
So again, we have the word wasi for house, and we added the word puka. Puka is the color red. Kan simply means is. So altogether, the house is red is.
Wasika, pukami kan.
One more time, please, Apak.
Wasika, pukami kan.
Okay, now let's make that house green, which is waija.
Wasika, waijami kan.
Wasika waijami kan.
Wasika, waijami kan.
So we're saying the house green is. That would be the direct literal translation in English. The house green is, but in Kichwa, the verb is usually at the end or very close to the end of a sentence. So,
Wasika, waijami kan.
let's do this again, but this time we're going to use the word for ball, which is rumba. Is that correct?
Rumba,
Rumba.
rumba.
Okay, rumba. Okay, so let's say the ball is purple. Rumba,
Rumbaka, maiwami kan.
maiwa is the word for purple. Rumba is the word for ball. So we're saying the ball purple is, but in Kichwa it is.
Rumbaka, maiwami kan.
Let's say the ball is white.
Rumbaka, yurami kan.
Okay, so again, yurak is the word for white. Rumba is ball. We're saying the ball white is.
Rumbaka, yurami kan.
Okay, so thank you very much for joining us for another episode of Kichwapi. Yupaichani.
Yupaichani.
Check out our Facebook group page for In Other Words, with links to all our teachers, guests, and sponsors.
On that In Other Words Facebook page, which anyone can join, you'll find a link to Quizlet. Quizlet is a method that you can use to study today's lesson in Kichwa, and also all of the past Kichwa lessons that have been given on this program. So if you haven't yet joined, go to Facebook, go to In Other Words, it's a group page. Join that page. You'll be able to read upcoming events in advance of the program. That will be translated into English for you. And also you'll find out more about all of our sponsors, all of our language teachers, and our interview guests. So Apak offers private tutoring in the Kichwa language right here in Cotacachi to people who speak at least intermediate Spanish. He's not an English speaker. So if you speak Spanish, and you want to learn how to talk with your Kichwa neighbors, you can call him at 098-085-1887. That's 098-085-1887. Be sure to come back next Friday at 4 for the next Kichwapi lesson, when Apak will teach us how to say parts of the body and face in the Runashimi, Kichwapi. So we'll be back in just a few minutes with our, in other words, interview segment, something to talk about. Today's guests are Kichwa language teacher Apak Perugachi of Tinkunakwi and Apauki Flores of Yuyandes. They are Kichwa cultural activists and educators who live here in the Cotacachi communities of Moreles Chupa and Santa Barbara. They will be talking to us about many aspects of the annual celebration of Inty Raymi in Cotacachi that we don't usually hear about, so you don't want to miss a single word. So, here is Cherry Hayak with an Inty Raymi classic, Punyaro Tushwi. Okay, so that song comes with a great video of footage of the dancers in Matriz Square, right here in Cotacachi. It's from a very famous Kichwa band that originated in Otavalo and now are internationally famous, Chari Hayak. If you want to watch the video and see the dancers in Matriz Square for Inty Raymi, you can go to YouTube and put in the keyword Punyaro Tushwi, which is Punyaro, Punyaro Tushwi, Tushui. Okay, we'll be back in just a few minutes with an interview with Apak and Apauki, who are going to teach us more about Inty Raymi celebrations in Cotacachi. We'll talk to you again in just a few minutes.
Listen to the special people who define Cotacachi here in Something to Talk About.
So welcome to Something to Talk About. This month I'm going to be interviewing cultural activists to talk about Inty Raymi. This month the indigenous people who live in Cotacachi celebrate Inty Raymi, the most important festival of the year. They prepare for months in advance, they talk about it for months later, and it is always, always present in their consciousness. Now, many English-speaking foreigners think of Inty Raymi as a festive tourist event to generate income for the community, but the indigenous people of the Andes have been celebrating Inty Raymi for centuries, long before the Spanish arrived 500 years ago and long, long before expats settled here in the area. It's an ancient celebration that we have the privilege to witness, but we do not have the right to change in ways that we might find more entertaining or comfortable. So I'm very pleased to welcome Apauki Flores and Apak Perugachi, who are cultural activists and educators who can tell us from their perspective what Inty Raymi means to the indigenous people here. Apauki, can you introduce yourself?
Sí, buenos días. Muchas gracias por la invitación. Mi nombre es Apauki Flores.
Entonces, my name is Apauki Flores. I'm 34 years old.
Sí. Bueno, yo he vivido aquí en la ciudad como 30 años, ¿no?
I've lived here in the city for 30 years.
Sí, pero actualmente por mi esposa, por mi familia, estoy viviendo en la comunidad de Santa Bárbara.
But because of my wife and my family, I live in the Santa Barbara community.
Sí, 3 años ya voy a vivir ahí.
3 years I've been living there.
Sí, actualmente me desempeño como docente de un programa para básica y bachillerato del Ministerio de Educación.
I'm now teaching bachillerato, which is basically a upper high school course for students.
Sí, y soy el representante legal de la cooperativa de servicios profesionales que se llama Yuyandes, localizada aquí en Cotacachi.
And I'm the legal representative of a social services cooperative called Yuyandes.
Thank you very much. Apak?
Aliponya Tucuisha. Muy buenos días con todos. Soy Apak Perugachi, soy de la comunidad de Morales Chupa y tengo 28 años.
Apak Perugachi from the community de Morales Chupa.
Ahorita me desempeño como vicepresidente de la comunidad Morales Chupa y también como miembro de una organización, Tinkunakui, y profesor de lengua quichua.
Okay. Right now, I'm vice president of the community, the Morales Chupa community, member of Tinkunakui, and professor of indigenous cultural studies.
Sí, y también como activista cultural. Y
And
en
also
eso
as a
hemos
cultural activist.
escrito, digamos, algunos libros para niños y también un libro para lo que se llama Cotacachi, Yaktapi, Kichwa, Raymi.
So I've written books for children and also a larger book called Cotacachi, Yaktapi, Kichwa, Mikuna.
Este libro ya mismo va a salir en inglés también y contiene las 4 celebraciones más importantes de los quichuas.
This book is going to come out in English as well and will deal with all 4 of the Raymis.
And the English translation of the book would be the Kichwa celebrations in Cotacachi. So it's very specific to Cotacachi. Thank you. Well, let's get started with some questions. What do the words Inty Raymi mean to indigenous people?
Entonces, ¿qué significan las palabras Inty Raymi para la gente indígena?
Para nosotros hay que tener muy en cuenta que nosotros, desde nuestra cosmovisión, tenemos los dioses tutelares.
So, from our cultural tradition, we have tutelary gods.
Para nosotros, el Inty Raymi es un culto a un dios, el dios sol. Digamos, Inty es el dios sol y Raymi es la máxima celebración al dios sol.
So, it is the maximum celebration for the sun god.
And why is Inty Raymi celebrated during the June solstice?
¿Y por qué se celebra Inty Raymi en el solsticio de junio?
Para nosotros, ¿por qué celebramos justamente en junio? Es porque el sol, digamos, nos ha dado las cosechas, ¿sí? Las cosechas, tenemos el maíz, que es la base de la alimentación. Entonces, el maíz seco, ya podemos hacer la chicha, podemos hacer muchas cosas. Entonces, por eso celebramos en esta fecha.
The sun has given us the harvest, the corn harvest, which is one of the principal factors of life here. And in June is when the corn is dried, and the sun plays a major role not only in producing the corn, but in drying it so that it can be eaten.
Pero también en la memoria de nuestros abuelos y abuelas que todavía viven.
So in the memory of our ancestors, our grandfathers and grandmothers who are still alive.
Y en la memoria seguramente de los citadinos de Cotacachi recordarán que en el año se celebraba 2 veces, se bailaba como en septiembre, que era el Apak Raymi, y también el Inty Raymi. La comunidad bajaba 2 veces al año a bailar.
So basically, the community would come down twice a year to dance in June and in September.
Respecto a la primera pregunta, comparto mucho con Apak, ¿no? Sí, muchas veces la palabra, ¿no? En Raymi es un poco confundida con fiesta, sí.
So the word Raymi is sometimes confused with just being a partying time.
Sí, entonces digamos que Raymi no es una fiesta, ¿no? ¿Por qué? Porque una fiesta puede ser durante cualquier día, ¿no? Cualquier época del año.
Yeah, so it's not like a festival, because a festival can take place at any particular time of the year.
Y una fiesta, digamos, puede ser familiar o de la comunidad, ¿no?
Yeah. So fiesta can be something that's a family party or community.
En cambio, la celebración, en este caso, como es el Inty Raymi, es en un tiempo y en un espacio sagrado, ¿no?
So the Raymi is more of a specific sacred time and space that can't happen just any time.
Sí, y no solo es en la comunidad o en la familia, sino que transciende un territorio, ¿no? Extenso.
So it's a territorial celebration, not just something that is a family or community event.
Can you explain more what you mean by territorial?
¿Puedes explicar más de qué sentido tiene ese territorio?
En este caso estamos hablando de la nacionalidad quichua, ¿no?
We're talking about the Kichwa nationality.
En este caso el territorio, ¿no? ¿Cuál es el territorio de la nacionalidad quichua? Estamos hablando actualmente, ¿no? Estamos hablando desde el norte de Ecuador, desde la provincia de Carchi, que se va hasta al sur, ¿no? Hasta Loja de Ecuador. Todo ese es el territorio.
Right. So we're talking about an extensive national territory that goes from north to south of Ecuador that is indigenous nationality.
And do all of these people in this territory celebrate Inty Raymi?
Y toda la gente en ese territorio celebra Inty Raymi.
Sí, la nacionalidad quichua tiene como 18 pueblos, ¿no? Entonces,
There are 18 pueblos quichuas that celebrate Inty Raymi.
Sí, y la mayor parte de pueblos celebran, ¿no? Celebran el Inty Raymi.
The large part of these communities do celebrate Inty Raymi.
Sin embargo, cada pueblo lo celebra a su manera, ¿no?
But each community celebrates in its own way.
Es así que el Inty Raymi, ¿no? de aquí, de Cotacachi, con el Inty Raymi de Otavalo es distinto, ¿no?
So the Inty Raymi here in Cotacachi is different from that in Otavalo, which is just down the road.
Yeah, in the next segment of our program, we'll be talking specifically about Cotacachi and how it is distinctive from celebrations in other areas.
En el próximo segmento del programa vamos a hablar más sobre esas diferencias.
I'd like to ask you a little of the history. How long ago did people first celebrate Inty Raymi, and where did those celebrations begin?
Bueno, ¿quiénes fueron los primeros a celebrar Inty Raymi? ¿Hace cuántos años o siglos atrás inició esa tradición? ¿Y en dónde se empezó la celebración?
No tenemos un dato exacto
We
para
don't have an exact date.
decir cuándo empezó justamente el Inty Raymi, pero hay, digamos, Cochasquí es uno que fue pre-incaico, mucho más de los antes que los incas. Y
Cotacachi was a celebration that was something that occurred even before the Incas.
Y era un espacio ceremonial dedicado al culto al sol. Entonces, hay registros de que en Cochasquí ya se celebraba, tal vez con otro nombre, pero era un culto al dios sol.
So it was a sun-worshipping cult that existed before the arrival of the Incas.
Durante el periodo incaico se fortaleció un poco más.
Became even stronger during the period of the Incas.
Con la conquista española, con la colonia, no se fortaleció, sino que como se decayó, pero más de 525 años y nosotros las comunidades quichuas seguimos fortaleciendo.
Yeah. So with the arrival of Spaniards and colonization, the tradition did not grow, but it has maintained its life even after 500 plus years of colonization.
So I am very interested. What is the relation of Inty Raymi to the Roman Catholic holidays that are celebrated during the same week? So how did Roman Catholicism affect the celebration of Inty Raymi?
¿Cuál es la relación de Inty Raymi con las fiestas católicas celebradas durante la misma semana? ¿Qué ha sido el impacto de la llegada de la Iglesia Católica?
Aproximadamente en el año 90, ¿no? En 1990 se produce un levantamiento indígena en Ecuador, sí, posteriormente en algunos países de Centroamérica y Latinoamérica, ¿no? Entonces, a partir del año 90 se habla, ¿no es cierto?
In 1990 there was an indigenous uprising in Ecuador, and that has influenced the cultural and political identity of people here.
Sí, se habla, ¿no? A partir de los 90 decía de que una propuesta política del movimiento indígena se habla, ¿no? De retomar estos raymis, ¿no? Entonces ahí se empieza a hablar de Inty Raymi, Capac Raymi, Pauca Raymi, ¿no?
So that uprising in the 1990s and since then has been very much responsible for the revitalization of these festivals, these celebrations.
Sin embargo, mi abuelito, ¿no? Si es que él viviese, hoy hubiese tenido más o menos unos 80, 90 años, él no hablaba de Inty Raymi, ¿no? Él hablaba del Hatun Punja, ¿no? Aquí en Cotacachi.
So his grandfather, who would be 80 years old if he were alive today, he didn't talk about Inty Raymi, he talked about Hatun Punja.
Hatun Punja, the great day.
Sí, bueno, para nosotros, digamos, la celebración empieza desde mayo, junio y vemos los 3 meses hasta julio.
So for us, the celebration begins in May. It's a 3-month-long celebration.
Entonces, como el sincretismo, digamos, se mezcló con nuestra cultura, desde mayo empieza con lo que es el Corpus Christi, luego en junio San Juan, San Pedro, San Pablo y Santa Lucía, que esos 3 son a los corresponde al mes de mayo, junio y julio.
Yeah. So this corresponds with a sort of syncretism with the Catholic Church of Corpus Christi, San Juan, St. Paul,
San Pedro,
St. Peter,
y Santa Lucía.
And Santa Lucia. So these days.
Sí, es por eso que en las comunidades decimos San Juan o decimos San Pedro, y con lo que dice Apauki, el Hatun Punja. Sí, entonces es el sincretismo.
So some people call it one thing, and some call it according to its Catholic name. Others call it according to the indigenous name.
So I'm curious, when we see people who in the street who say they're celebrating San Juan. What are they celebrating? Are they celebrating San Juan? Are they celebrating Inty Raymi?
Yeah. Entonces, cuando escuchamos gente en la calle diciendo que están celebrando San Juan, ¿qué están celebrando de San Juan?
Sí, eso es lo que decíamos del sincretismo. Como nosotros teníamos 4 grandes celebraciones en el año, pero la Iglesia Católica fue tan inteligente o tan astuta de introducir sus celebraciones, ¿sí? Como el Corpus Christi, que para nosotros era la danza de los abagos, ¿sí? El San Juan, San Pedro, que era el Inty Raymi, la máxima, digamos, culto a un dios. Entonces introdujeron estos santos.
So basically the Catholic Church, because it was very astute, basically merged its saints and traditions with the locally existing traditions. So the Corpus Christi corresponds with the dance of the abagos.
Ajá. Los abagos, o también en las comunidades lo conocen como los achilayacunas, que serían como los espíritus achi, como espíritus de luz, danzantes.
So the Corpus Christi corresponds with these dancers, light dancers, which is the abagos.
En este caso, la influencia, ¿no?, de la religión católica, ¿no?, de la iglesia en la celebración no fue otra cosa más como una estrategia de adoctrinamiento, ¿no?
Yeah. The doctrine of the church was actually indoctrination. It was a strategy of indoctrination.
So let me ask you, what is the importance of Inty Raymi in relation to the other 3 Raymis? There are 4 Raymis, 2 solstices, 2 equinoxes.
Entonces hay 4 Raymis. ¿Qué es la relación de Inty Raymi a los otros, a los solsticios y equinoccios? Pero ¿qué es la relación?
Para nosotros, en el año está dividido en 4 partes, ¿no? 2 sería viendo los fenómenos astronómicos, el equinoccio y el solsticio.
So the year is divided into 4 parts according to these equinoxes and solstices, these astronomical phenomena.
Pero se preguntarán por qué Inty Raymi, Cotacachi, es mucho más fuerte que Apak Raymi o Pauka Raymi o Koya Raymi.
But people ask why Inty Raymi is so much stronger in Cotacachi than the other Raymis.
Apauki habló muy claro de cuál es la población quichua desde el norte hasta el sur.
Apauki has made it clear that we're talking about a national population that stretches from north to south of Ecuador.
En el norte es claro, en Cotacachi, Otavalo, se celebra muy fuertemente el Inty Raymi.
In the north, the Inty Raymi is strongly celebrated.
Podemos pasar de un polo a otro, digamos, en el sur. Se celebra muy fuerte el Apak Raymi.
So Apak Raymi is celebrated more strongly in the south.
En la mitad se podría decir se celebra muy fuerte lo que es el Pauka Raymi y el Koya Raymi.
So in the center is celebrated Pauka Raymi and Apak Raymi.
Esto nos indica que durante la llegada de los españoles, por estrategia los quichuas se dividieron los Raymis, las celebraciones.
They see this as a result of the arrival of the Spaniards, and they apparently divided the Raymis north to south to protect and preserve the traditions.
Entonces, en la memoria colectiva de los quichuas se mantiene los 4 Raymis en su gran esplendor.
So in that manner, they were able to preserve the tradition in its original splendor and energy.
So you've used the word Hatun Punja. Can you tell us exactly what Hatun Punja means and how it's different? Or is there a special day that is the Hatun Punja, or is it throughout the 3 months? Can you explain that to us?
Entonces, ¿puedes explicar más del significado de Hatun Punja? ¿Es el periodo total de 3 meses o corresponde a un día especial durante estos meses?
Ya, en este caso, bueno, literalmente si traducimos el Hatun Punja significaría el gran día, ¿no?
So, the exact translation of that means the great day.
Sin embargo, el Hatun Punja no es un día, ¿no? Sino más bien es el tiempo, ¿no? Es el tiempo durante el cual se celebra, ¿no? En este caso, cuando las comunidades salimos y nos tomamos, ¿no? Los sitios sagrados antes, durante y después de la celebración.
So it's this extended period before, during, and after the celebration in which the people come down from the communities and dance, take the plaza.
Okay, we're going to stop this segment at this time, but I want to let you know that these gentlemen will be joining us again 3 more times in June. The, in other words, program interview segment is dedicated to Inty Raymi for all of June. So they will be back again next week, and we'll be talking more about Cotacachi-specific traditions, as well as some of the logistics and dates, and we'll be entertaining some of the questions that the expats, the English-speaking foreigners who live here in Cotacachi, have asked me to ask them, and that will be the last segment. So all of June, beginning on June 8th, and going through June 29th, we'll be interviewing Apauki and Apak. Apauki and Apak also have organizations that are part of Makipurai, the Cotacachi Volunteer Center, and I would like them to take this opportunity to talk a little bit about your work, Apauki, and how listeners can support your work. Whatever they would like to talk about to the listeners.
Sí, cualquier cosa que quiere comunicar a los oyentes.
About your work.
Sobre su trabajo.
Bueno, nosotros somos una red, ¿no? Una red de profesionales quichuas de Imbabura. Sí.
We are a network in Uyandes of Kichwa professionals.
Bueno, como vivimos en un mundo globalizado, bueno, nuestros padres, ¿no? Nos han inculcado ahora a estudiar, ¿no? Ir a la escuela.
So since we live in a globalized world, our parents have encouraged us to study hard.
Sí, ir al colegio y luego ir a la universidad.
To go to university.
Sí, entonces, pero ¿qué sucede cuando uno termina la universidad, no?
So what happens when you finish university?
Sí, mucha gente joven, sobre todo en Ecuador, estamos desempleados.
Many young people in Ecuador are unemployed.
Sí, entonces la idea de Uyandes es de alguna manera poder reclutarnos a estos jóvenes, tanto estudiantes y profesionales.
So our goal as Uyandes is to recruit these young people, whether they're students or already professionals.
Para que ellos puedan de alguna manera adquirir experiencia dependiendo de su profesión.
So that they can get experience related to their profession.
Sí, ahora bueno, somos un equipo de profesionales de Otavalo, Cotacachi y Antonio Ante.
So we now include people from Otavalo, Antonio Ante, and Cotacachi.
Sí, nuestro objetivo es dar respuestas profesionales a personas, comunidades, organizaciones, instituciones públicas o privadas.
So our goal, our purpose is to provide services, support services to communities, municipalities, public institutions.
Okay. Uyandes is a member organization of Makipurai, which you can find on Facebook by looking up Cotacachi Volunteer Center, and there's contact information there for Apauki so that you can make donations or volunteer or just see what it is that they need at the time if you'd like to support their efforts. Apak, would you like to talk a little bit about your work?
Primeramente pertenezco a una organización que se llama Tinkunakui.
So first of all, I belong to an organization called Tinkunakui.
Nuestro fin es fortalecer la cultura quichua y la lengua quichua.
So our purpose is to strengthen Kichwa culture and language.
En digamos, bueno, yo soy profesor de lengua quichua.
I'm a professor of Kichwa language.
Activista cultural.
Cultural activist.
Y también estamos promocionando el libro Cotacachi Yaktapi Kichwa Raymi Kuna, que ya mismo va a salir, esperemos en este año o el próximo, ya lo que es en inglés también.
So we're promoting the book Cotacachi Yaktapi Kichwa Raymi Kuna that will be coming out later this year in English.
También como soy vicepresidente de la comunidad, estamos impulsando algunos proyectos, digamos, dentro de la comunidad.
So as vice president of my community, I'm also leading some projects.
Una de esos es transmitir el conocimiento de la lengua quichua, la cultura quichua a los niños de la comunidad.
So one of which is transmitting the Kichwa language and culture to the children.
Estamos en ese proyecto que esperamos de ejecutar en julio o las vacaciones de los niños.
So we're hoping to put this into action in July.
What is the name of your project for the young people?
¿Qué es el nombre de su proyecto para los niños?
Ati Wambrakuna.
Atik Wanrakuna also can be found on the Cotacachi Volunteer Center page if you would like to support Apak's work in revitalizing, fortifying Kichwa culture and language to young people in his community. Please consider supporting them. I want to thank Apak, Apauki, and also our translator, Fred Hosea, and we'll see you next week on Something to Talk About. Okay, so thank you for listening this week to another episode of In Other Words. We'll be back again next Friday at 4. Hasta viernes. Chaska punja kaman. Thank you. Gracias. Yupaychani mashikuna.
Thank you for listening to our program. In other words, we'll see you again next Friday at the same time, 4 p.m. on Radio Pública Cotacachi.
Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I love.